Okay, Be'ezat Hashem, Naaseh v'Natzliach. I want to welcome you to to Hallandale Beacon Tower Lunch and Learn as we continue our learning of Parashat Shavua. We're here on the third night of Hanukkah. Baruch Hashem, we'll have a Chanukiah. We're going to be able to light the Chanukiah and to publicize the miracle of Hanukkah. As a matter of fact, maybe if you want, we could even do it now, so like that they can light during the whole time. And we're going to give an honorable mention to our sponsors. We have H&M Builders and Mend Law, giving us the use of the space, as well as supplying us with this beautiful spread today. As you noticed, Hummus Factory was closed, so we had to get just regular food, but this is from Sarah's stand. Also very delicious. Also, it's nice to switch things up. And give an honorable mention to Joseph Dornbush and to Judah Mendel, Sheshem V'echotchem, Samachotchem. And for you guys here, that you take time out of your busy day, and also possibly starting your day off, I don't know, maybe a long weekend vacation starting from now, and you say, no, before I go, let me squeeze in another hour of Torah. Chazak u'baruch. Let's get started. This week's parasha is Parashat Miketz. In last week's parasha, we have. You want to light it first? Let's light it first. Let's light it. Here we're going to have the honor of being able to light it. Who has a lighter? Bechavod. No, I'm good. I have. Guys, quickly, because I want to get to the lesson. So let's do the Dikna Shel Chanukah. Here we go. Who's got the light? Judah, would you like to have the honors? Yes, please. Yeah. I have the bracha over here. Let's get the light. Does anybody have a light? Nobody smokes? No light?
No. I have in my
Only vapors. Only vapors?
I have in my house.
Okay, guys. We'll come back to it. Okay, here we go. Okay. In last week's parasha, Parashat Vayeshev, we established that Yosef is Ish Matzliach. Remember, we said he was like the most successful butler in the world, or in general, he was a very successful Jew. In the entire Chumash, we don't have anybody that has that tag of Ish Matzliach. In Lamed Tet, it says, I'll read it again just to get us going. It says, V'yi Adonai et Yosef, v'yi Ish Matzliach, v'yi bevet Adonai v'mitzri. It says that Hashem made Yosef very successful. Everything that he touches turns into gold. He's very successful. And he was at this time in the house of Potiphar, which was his master. Everything that he touched turned into gold. He was a very successful person, and he was a very successful servant. וימצא יוסף חן בעיניו, וישרת אותו, ויפקידהו ביתו, וכל אשר לא נתן בידו. And he found favor in his eyes, and he made him minister over his house, and everything that he owned, he put in his hands. So imagine, he just went from being a slave to running the show. Continues. ויהי מאז הפקיד אותו בביתו, ועל כל אשר יברך אדוני את בית המצרים בגלל יוסף, ויהי ברכת אדוני בכל אשר לו בבית ובשדה. And because Yosef was now in charge of all these things, everything that he touched was successful, whether in the house or in the field, whether anything that had to do with anything that had to do in the home, or anything that had to do with his businesses, it was successful, and everything that he touched turned into gold. בבית ובשדה. ויעזוב גור שלו ביד יוסף, ולא ידע איתו מאומה כי אם הלחם אשר הוא אוכל, ויוסף יפה תואר ויפה מהר. And he gave him everything. He gave him control of every single thing except for his wife. He controlled his home, his businesses. Yeah, take the key to everything. I trust you. Except for the one thing that was off limits was his wife. Now, having said that, we see that the Torah testifies that Yosef, Yefet Torah, Yefet Mar'eh, He was a very handsome man. He was irresistible. Very, very hard for a woman to not want to be with Yosef. Now you have to understand, Yosef is now in the heart of Las Vegas. He's in Mitzrayim. This is not like a place of holy people. People are all about the physical, all about the body, all about the looks, and Yosef over there is the best it can possibly be. After constantly pursuing Yosef, and Yosef holding down to his morals, holding down to his values, refuses out of respect for his owner, out of respect for his father, out of respect for his own values, and then Potiphar's wife sabotages him and says he tried to be with me, wrongfully accuses him, and because of that, Yosef is thrown into jail for a period of 10 years for a lie, for something that he didn't do. Continues to say in Lamed Tet, in Pasuk Chaf Tuf Chaf Gimel, I'll read it to you. It says, ויקח אדוני יוסף אותו, ויתנהו אל בית הסוהר, מקום אשר עשו המלך אסורים, ויהי שם בבית הסוהר. Potiphar took him and threw him in jail. ויהי השם את יוסף וית אליו חסד, וייתן חנו בעיני שר בית הסוהר. Look at this. The warden, the guy who's in charge of the jail, likes Yosef. He says, there's something very unique about this guy. ויתן שר בית הסוהר ביד יוסף את כל האסירים אשר בבית הסוהר ואת כל אשר עושים שם הוא היה עושה. He tells him, you're in charge. You're in charge of all the prisoners. You're in charge of the whole prison system. Here, take care of everything. Similar to the interaction that Potiphar had with him, the corrections officer or the warden of the prison put the same power in Yosef's hands. אין שר בית הסוהר רואה את כל מלומה בידו באשר אדוני איתו, ואשר הוא עושה, אדוני מצליח. Here we go again. Here we go again. He's putting him, he sees that no matter what type of task he's giving him, he's successful. Every little thing that he gives him to do, he's able to do it successfully, and it's working out. It's like as if he had an amazing assistant that's now doing all the work for him. He doesn't have to do anything, and Hashem Matzliach Be'ado. And keep in mind, every time that we see this tagline, Basher Hashem Ito, Vasher Hu Oseh Hashem Matzliach, we know that Yosef is under the tagline of Matzliach. And we already learned together last week, how do you become Matzliach? It was very simple. We figured out that the success of Yosef was his unique approach to life. What was his approach? That no matter what, whether he's at home, whether he's in a pit, whether he's a slave, whether he's in jail, how does he become Matzliach? Shem Hashem Shagur Befi. He always has God's name on his lip. Baruch Hashem, Be'ezrat Hashem, Chazdei Hashem, and Od Milvado, everything is from Hashem. He was always in a state of gratefulness, always accepted the situation that he was in, and he always gave all credit and all accolades to God first. He never took any credit for himself. That was his approach. That was his unique approach. And as long as he was doing that, he got the title of Ish Matzliach. Now, giving credit to your success, giving constant accolades to Hashem, no matter what you do, and accepting every twist and turn in your life with 100% emunah, that this is all for the best, and it's exactly what Hashem wants for me, and this is also exactly what it's supposed to be. It's not so simple. It's not so simple to have that outlook. It's not so simple to say that when you're in jail, this is good. When you're locked up, this is good. When you're sold as a slave, this is good. When your family throws you out of the house, this is good. And to be happy about it, to be grateful, you know what? It's all for the best. It's not so simple to really say that and to believe that. Because you know us, it's very easy for us to say sometimes, when people ask us, how you doing? Oh, Baruch Hashem. Really? Is that how you feel? Oh, you know, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I know it's going to get better. Really? Do you believe that? Or are you just saying that? Are you like on robotic, automatic mode saying that because you know that's how a Jew's supposed to talk? Do you believe the words that are coming out of your mouth? Yosef believed. Yosef believed the words that came out of his mouth. When he was saying, Baruch Hashem, it's all for the best, Chazdei Hashem, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Imagine, he's in a pit, it's dark, 20, 30 feet down, and he's thinking, there's no better place for me on this earth than this pit right here, with the snakes and scorpions around me. Really? And believing it? But that's Yosef. That's Yosef. And apparently this attitude, this outlook on life made him matzliach, and we later on saw his great success that he got to. As a matter of fact, after 10 years being in jail, in this week's parasha, in the end of last week's parasha, we have the story of Yosef interpreting the dreams for Sarah Ofim and Sarah Mashkim, for the baker and the wine butler. They were both thrown into jail. Why? The Sarah Mashkim, the wine butler, because a fly flew into Paro's cup, and when he came to drink, he saw a fly. He's like, "Oh, who's in charge of the drinks around here?" He said, "Oh, here's the wine butler. Throw him in jail. I have a fly in my cup." And then the baker, he was incompetent, and basically he let rocks, small pebbles, get into the dough, and when they baked it, when Paro came to eat, he feels like a rock in his mouth. Who's the baker around here? Oh, here he is. Oh, so you're not doing your job properly? That you're allowing rocks to get into the yeast? Oh, throw him into jail. It happened to be on the same day, on the same feast. While they were in jail, both these sarim, these ministers, one for the wine, one for the food, had dreams. And they came to, and they were telling each other the dreams. And Yosef overheard them. He says, "You know what? I can interpret the dreams for you." The short of the long is that the Sarah Mashkim, the Sarah of the wines, he told them that in 3 days you are going to get reinstated and you're going to get freed. For the baker, he told him in 3 days you're going to get hung and you're going to die, saving you the whole story. However, in last week's parasha, something weird happens. In Perek Mem, Pasuk Yudalit, after solving the dream for the wine butler, he says to him, Ki im zachartani itcha kasher tav lach, v'asita na imadi chased, v'izkartani al paro, v'otzetani min habayit hazeh. He tells them, hey, in 3 days, you're going to be out of here. You're going to be out of jail. Please remember me. And remember the good that I've done with you. And remember to mention me to Paro and get me out of here. And we see over here that Yosef asked for help from the butler. So after we just established his way of thinking, the way that he carries himself. Last week we say Ish Matzliach, but here we see that there is a chink in the armor. There is a hole in Yosef's game. It's like you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. You say that you have emunah in Hashem. You say that everything's for the best. You have full 100% emunah that God has figured everything out for you. Whatever Hashem is in store for you, you accept. Yet you turn to the butler, help me. I need your help. Yosef, what's going on? Something is off. So, because of that, Hashem extended his prison stay for 2 more years. 1 year for the word Zechartani, and another year for the word Hizkartani. Hizkartani is you remember me, Hizkartani is mention me. He says it doesn't look like your emunah is strong enough. You need 2 more years in the emunah college in order to get the degree that I need you to have. And we see that Yosef accepted it. He actually felt for him like only days. The Midrash says it felt like days for him, not only years. And in this week's Parashat Miketz, in Pasuk Tet Zayin, it says, when this week's parasha actually begins with a dream. It begins with Paro's dream. Paro has several dreams. Again, not going too long into it because that's not the subject of this class. We've done a few classes already about the dreams. You can look them up on YouTube and see them. But the short of the long is after Paro dreams 2 dreams that have been bothering him for a very long time, and all his dream interpreters have interpreted in a way that doesn't calm him, doesn't soothe his heart or his spirit or his mind. Finally, after 2 years, of course, by design, the wine butler, Sarah Mashkim, says, oh, you know what? When I was in jail, I don't want to mention that when he threw me in jail so you don't remember what I did wrong, but at that time, there was a guy over there that interpreted my dream exactly to the T. He says that in 3 days I'm going to be out, I'm going to get reinstated, and that's exactly what happened. He tells him, call him out. Call him out. Let's see what he says about my dream. And Yosef comes in front of Paro. Paro repeats the dream to him, and we see that Yosef begins, this is the first, this is the opening line of Yosef in Miketz. It says, Vayan Yosef et Paro lemor bil'adai Elohim ya'anet shlom Paro. He tells him, listen, don't think that the interpretation is going to come from me. Nothing is from me. The interpretation is going to come from God. He's back. Yosef is back. He's giving all credit to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, now we can get started. Here's Ish Matzliach again. Let's see what happens to Ish Matzliach now in the story. So it says over here, from Lamed Zayin, Pasuk Lamed Zayin to Mem Vav, is something very interesting. It says, after he heard the dreams, and he interpreted the dreams for him, that he told him there'll be 7 years of abundance, then there'll be 7 years of famine. The interpretation is that you have to, on the 7 years of famine, you have to stock up, meaning we have to take, 20% of the teruah, of the livestock, and put it away. So like that, when there's 7 years of famine, we will have an abundance, and we will be able to give it to our people. And later on he says, also we'll store it in case more people will come and they'll need to purchase from us. After hearing this interpretation, it sat so well with Paro that Paro's reaction is unheard of. It's impossible that this is what's going to happen to somebody who just hours ago was in a pit in a jail for 12 years. For lack of better terms, an ex-con. Pasuk Lamed Zayin. It says, Vayomer Paro el avadav. Paro tells all his servants, Hanimtza kazeh ish asher ruach Elohim bo. Exists such a man on this planet that has such wisdom, and God is with him like the way that he is with Yosef? Vayomer Paro el Yosef. Now that your God has revealed to you the interpretation of this dream, I hereby declare there's no one wiser and smarter, and there's no one like you. He says, you are going to be in control of my home, or my castle, and you are going to be the one that controls my nation. And only I, the king, will be on a higher stature than you. In other words, you are second in command. You are the viceroy. Well, sounds familiar. Exactly like what happened in Potiphar's house. Right? Vayomer Paro el Yosef. Paro continues to tell Yosef, I give you all the land of Egypt. Again, it makes no sense. Hours ago, the guy's in a pit. Now he's second in command, running, like I'm telling you, running the United States. Makes no sense. He takes off the king's ring and he puts it on his hand. Wow, very royal clothes. And he put a special necklace on him. He says we're going to call him an Avrech and we're going to put him, introduce him to all of Mitzrayim. By the way, the word Avrech is also, you know what, does anybody know what Avrech means?
Scholar.
A scholar. Yes. Avrech, usually we call the guys that are in the yeshivas, we call them Avrechim. Why is there an Avrech? Because he's Av bechokhmah. He's very older in wisdom. Rach b'shanim. But he's very young in years. And Avrech is if you go into a yeshiva, you sit down and talk to a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, the guy has the wisdom of a 70-year-old, and you ask him, how old are you? He's like 23, 24. That's an Avrech. Av b'chokhmah, Rach b'shanim. And that's what he called him over here, because right now, Yosef is 30 years old. 30 years old. Vayikra Paro Shem Yosef Tzafnat Paneach. He gave him additional name, Tzafnat Paneach. Vayiten ot Osnat Bet Potifera, and he gave him Osnat for a wife. Leisha. Vayetze Yosef al Eretz Mitzrayim. And we see that Yosef is now viceroy, second in command in the land of Egypt. Wow, what happened? That was quick. That was fast.
Yeah, but there is no midrash about Pharaoh knows what happened with him in the jail. He was in charge. He was in charge of Potiphar. For sure, he got some information.
He got from Sarah Mashkim what he solved for him, and then he also got from the people that were in contact with him some sort of recommendation. I don't know if that I haven't read the midrash, but I'm sure Paro, when all he was concerned with, you have to understand, a king is not concerned with anything except for the thing that bothers him. You could be anybody or anything can come to the table and solve the problem. That's what he cares about. Very rarely do you need the credentials or a resume. Who are you before I can deal with you? It's not like that. Now, we see over here, he went from a prisoner to be second in command. Now he's married. And I want to just stop here for a second and share with you something that I discovered in a midrash. And it says, did you ever think about Yosef's mental state or his feelings? You know, the Pesukim give us a persona. He's in charge, Matzliach, everything that he does is successful. There's one midrash that says that Yosef was absolutely on the breaking point of just giving everything up that very moment, right before they knocked on the door and they said, Paro wants to see you. Could you imagine? He was at the breaking point. This was after his 2 years. You could say that maybe it was a little bit at the breaking point when he asked the Sarah Mashkim, hey, remember me, mention me. We could say that maybe he had a little bit of a drop in emunah. But after 2 years, he was in a point that really he's working so hard on his emunah, but it was one of these dark moments. In one of these moments, that we all get, that sometimes you say, oh, I can't anymore. And just as he was thinking that, a knock on the door, Paro would like to see you. Now, this is a turning point for our lesson. If this is the case that Yosef was also almost like at a turning point, mentally, spiritually, or even emotionally, and we see that it might have been the last, in Hebrew they say, but dakat tishim, the last second. And then came the Yeshua. We see that what did he do? He held on to his emunah. Meaning, even at the breaking point, he says, but I'm not giving up. But I know it's for the best. But I know that's what Hashem wants. Even at this breaking point, because the Midrash doesn't say that he was at the breaking point. Meaning he was at a dark point, that he was ready to all give it up, but he didn't. He held on. And from here we see that he held on to Shem Hashem Shagur B'Fiv. He still held on to this whole concept of being thankful and grateful no matter what the situation is. And the next day, from the darkest point there where he was, he got elevated to the Viceroy of Egypt. You can see that sometimes you can be in the darkest, worst, lowest point of your life, but it's the end, actually is the beginning. Just when you think you can't anymore, that it has to finish, I can't tolerate, I can't deal, I don't know how to continue, actually that end is the beginning. And here we go to the first pasuk of this week's parasha. As a matter of fact, not even the first pasuk, just to one word. It says, Vayhi Miketz. Does anybody know what the word Miketz means? The end. Miketz means the end. This week's parasha talks the end. The pasuk, just so you can read it in context. It says, it happened at the end of 2 years, and Paro was dreaming a dream. But Miketz, meaning he got to the end. He got to the breaking point. After 2 years in jail, they said, but remember we said shnatayim, but it felt to him like yamim. But still, miketz, he got to the end. He got to the sof. And over here we see that the lesson is that even when he got to the end of a certain experience, he couldn't tolerate it anymore. What was at the meeting him at the end? The new beginning. The new beginning. Shalom Aleichem. Over here we have a very good lesson that many times in our lives, many times in our lives, we feel we got to the end of the line. We can't tolerate one more time, not even one more minute. Sometimes it's with our wives or with our husbands. Oh, I can't stand him. Oh, I can't stand her. This is it. Tomorrow we're in the Rabbanut. Tomorrow, there's a lot of people when they're going through, in marriages. It's so easy nowadays to just give up. Welcome, the Manfredis. Come in. So sometimes just when you're at the end of the rope and you feel you can't do anymore, Yosef teaches us it's not the time to tap out. Yosef is teaching us it's not the time to give up. Exactly when you start to have that feeling of the end, the feeling of I need to finish, I can't continue anymore, hold on. Have that faith, that emunah, right at that moment. Why? Because that's the end. And there's a new beginning. Because what happens, you have to imagine, it's like, there's a big treasure underneath the ground. And you're digging, and you're digging, and you're digging, and you're digging. You're 100 feet below. All you have to do is go one more time with the shovel, and you find the gold. And when do you give up? Before that one time. Before that last time that you have to hit the shovel and hit the gold is when you give up. That's the miketz. That's the point that we're talking about. And you have to understand that in life, it's like that a lot of times. It's in marriages, it's in businesses, it's in relationship, it's with children, it's with friends, it's with strangers, it's in any side of life. You'll see that when you start to hit that point where you can't anymore, this week's parasha is telling us, hold on a little bit more. With the thinking and the faith, the emunah, it's for the best. This is the best for me. Not only that, I know that there's no other better part for me. Right? There's no other better situation for me, and it's a custom-made moment for me. And I know that if I hold on a little bit longer through this tough stage, the new door, this is going to end because it has to end. and then the new beginning starts. And the new beginning is that last dig of a shovel that you just, oh, there you go, I got to it. Unfortunately, some people give up right at that last dig. Right before they hit gold, they give up. Because the Yetzer Hara, when does he challenge you? When does he come at you all power that you can't stand him anymore? Right before you're about to win him. He's giving you the last few energy that he has. And unfortunately, nowadays, many people say, hey, wait, this is too tough for me. And he succeeds. Why? He gave a very big, strong push at the end, and he was able to push you off. Where meanwhile, should you go at him just one more time, just a little bit, you would have defeated him in the new beginning of what? Prisoner to viceroy. Failure to success. Rich, from poor to rich. From sick to healthy. From shlom bayit, from no shlom bayit to shlom bayit. From prodigal kids to chinuch yeladim b'derech Hashem. It's all that final push that we have to hold on strong to. By the way, this is the script to every story in Jewish history. This scenario that I just described to you, how you have to make a push because at the end it's the toughest, but right after that last push, right after that, having that emunah, 100% emunah, no matter what, just like Yosef, that's what gets you to the other side. That's the script to every story in Jewish history. For example, just to give you, I'll give you maybe a handful of examples. Yetziat Mitzrayim. Here we are, a nation of being slaves for 210 years. After 210 years, we're in front of an ocean. We have an enemy to the right, enemy to the left, Mitzrayim and Paro behind us. What are we going to do? It seems like we're doomed. Nothing can be done. Everybody's getting nervous. Again, the last minute, the Katishim, all of a sudden what happens? The impossible happens. A sea splits for a nation, and they walk through it into safety. How about the war in the desert? Do you know how many wars the Jewish people had in the desert? One of the wars shows that there went 1,000 from each tribe. 12,000. Actually, the 24. There was 12,000 that fought and 12,000 that stayed behind and prayed and learned. Over hundreds and hundreds of thousands. How is that possible? How is that possible? That's the Jewish story. The impossible is possible. I'll give you something a little bit more. 2 weeks ago, when Dinah in Shechem, you know, when Shechem Bet Hamor, and all the people of that town that went through the Brit Milah, Shimon and Levi, 2 kids at the age of 13 went and slaughtered that entire town. How is that possible? How can 2 kids take over a town? If you ever read Ma'am Loez, which is a commentary of Rav Yaakov Kuli, he has over there in this week's parasha, and last week's parasha, and next week's parasha, he has stories over there of how the Shevatim fought all these wars. They're not mentioned over here. Tons of midrashim of how they protected themselves. You have never seen a Hollywood movie like the way that the rabbi describes the wars that they were in. If you have a chance to read Ma'am Loez in Bereshit, the last 3 parakim, you're going to see war stories like you've never seen before. My favorite one is over there is with Binyamin. Take a look at it. Shimon and Levi, 2 13-year-olds taking on a whole town. Let's go a little history. What's Chanukah? Chanukah is 13 Hashmonaim. 13 people versus the entire Greek Assyrian. Come on. How's that possible? How's that possible? So I'm going to tell you here. Guys, we're 13 here, maybe. Guys, let's go get the Russians. Let's go. We can do it. We can do it. Let's go get them. We can do it. How's that possible? That's the story of the Jews. The impossible is possible. How about the story of Purim? That they wanted to annihilate us all in one day. The whole plan, or Hitler, that wanted to get rid of. How's that possible? How do you have thousands of rockets coming to a small little area? Keep in mind, it only reaches a few cities in Israel, not every city. The impossible is possible. That's the story of the Jews. So why is that? Why is that impossible possible with the Jews? Well, it's very simple. When we are with Hashem, we are me'ala teva, me'ala mazal. What does it mean? When we are connected to God, connected to the Torah, when we have Shem Hashem Shagu Befiv, just like Yosef, we follow that formula, we become into a different status. One, that everything is me'ala teva with us. It's above nature. And me'ala mazal, meaning we have, it's not, there's a zodiac that controls what happens in the world. We are above the zodiac. Hashem is our luck. Hashem determines what happens with us. So I'll give you an example. Number 6 corresponds to everything that is nature. 6 days of the week, 6 sides, we have north, east, south, west, up, down. Everything that has to do with nature is 6. Anything that is holy is with the number 7. The number 7, we did many classes on the number 7. Just to give you an idea, Shabbat, holy. Omer is 7 weeks, 7 times. We have the Shemitah, the Yovel, even the 7th chord with music. So many different things that talks about things that are holy, things that elevate you spiritually. That's number 6 and that's number 7. Number 8 is above nature. It's above the 6 and above the 7. Anywhere you see the number 8, understand that it has the power to be above what we normally understand is possible. For example, right now we are in Hanukkah, right? Did you guys pay attention to Ala Nisim? It's the thing that we say now in all our tefillot, in Birkat Hamazon, in Amidah. Did you pay attention to what it says over there? I'll read it to you. We thank Hashem for Ala Nisim, for the miracles, right? Miracles are typically above nature. It's not something normal. So we say, Ala Nisim, we start. And it tells us, I'm just going to skip to the part that's relevant to us. Masarta giborim beyad chalashim. Here's a lesson in Jewish history. The strong in the hand of the weak. Rabim beyad ma'atim. We have many in the hands of a few. We've always been the minority. We've always been the small number. We've always been the 13 Hashmonaim versus an army, where Shimon and Levi versus Shem. The anti-Semitism, the whole world versus 0.04 of the planet. Reshaim beyat tzadikim. You put the wicked in the hand of the righteous. Utmeim beyat tehorim. And the impure in the hand of the pure. Vezedim beyat oskei toratecha. And zedim are people that don't follow the Torah mitzvot, and you put them in the hands of the Torah learners. In other words, there's a pattern over here. The Jews are the underdog that wins. The things that you think would never happen to Jews. Why? It's also in Al Nisim. It says over here, because the same way that it corresponds to Yemei Chanukah, Elu behalel uvhoda'ah. Why do we have Chanukah when we celebrate, besides just a small can of oil that lasted for 8 days? We also celebrate the victory of 13 Hashmonaim versus the Greek Syrian army. And what do? Hallel Hoda'ah. Hallel and Hoda'ah meaning is praising and thanking Hashem. Hallel and Hoda'ah is the formula of Yosef. Shem Hashem Shagu Befiv. Always thanking Hashem, always thanking Hashem, always praising Hashem. This whole power of having a wicked in the hand of the righteous, having the weak in the strong in the hand of the weak, and the many in the hand of the few, all comes if the few have Hallel and Hoda'ah on their lips. If the weak have Hallel and Hoda'ah on their lips. If the righteous have Hallel and Hoda'ah on their lips. In other words, to be grateful and thankful, which seems so basic, seems like I didn't come to a class that can teach me how to say thank you to Hashem. But what I'm trying to say over here is not about saying thank you to Hashem, because we all know how to do that in automatic mode. Do you feel it? Is it real? When you say thank you, is it a real thank you? When you're praising Hashem, is it real praise? What kind of a relationship do you have with Hashem in order for you to activate Ish Matzliach, in order for activate Nisim in your life? The rabbis could have just cut off this whole prayer, Lavotenu bayamim ahem. Why did they add the last two words, Bazeman hazeh? Because all this power that we just discussed, everything here that we see, oh my God, how is it possible to happen, is available to us today. To me, to you. We have the power to have this in our lives. You just have to activate Hallel and Hoda'ah. You just have to activate Yosef. Shem Hashem Shagu Befiv, and you can activate all this in your own life. I saw a beautiful chidush in this book called Esh David, and it talks about everything we were just discussing right now. It says, the Torah is very deep. There's many layers to it. I'm going to share one layer that I particularly enjoy. It's the layer of Gematria. Gematria is the numerical value of letters. And each letter has a numerical value. So, let's say if I take God's name of Yud K Vav K, right? So Yud is 10, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, and Hey is 5. Put them all together, it's 26, right? But there's another concept called Gematria Ktana. Gematria Ktana means, Yes. That after you get the Gematria, for example, for Yud Kei Vav Kei we got 26. Now, in order to get Gematria Ktana, we take the 2 and we add it to the 6. And what do we get? 8. What's 8? Above nature. We get it? Me'al hateva. The entire story of Hanukkah is above nature. There's not one thing over there that is not Gematria Ktana 8. Take a look. Yevanim, without making the calculation, I just give you the word, and trust me when I tell you that when you do Gematria Ktana, it comes out to 8. Yevanim, Gematria Ktana 8. What was the thing that they were after? They didn't want to take away the Torah from us. They told us, learn it. Learn Torah. Put that book on your shelf. But make sure you have 20 other books of philosophy next to it. Learn it as a philosophy. Don't learn it as a religion. Because what they wanted is they wanted our neshama. They didn't want our body. They wanted our neshama. So if you take the word neshama, Gematria Ktana, 8. They also wanted to distance us from the Torah. Torah, Gematria Ktana, 8. They took away from us the shmanim, the oils for the thing. Shmanim, Gematria Ktana, 8. And they knew that they wanted to switch us. They wanted us to be mityavnim, right? What did they want to do? They wanted to erase the Yehudi. They wanted to make him mityavnim, to become like them, to almost to assimilate. But the word Yehudi, also 8. The word Chanukah, Gematria Ktana, 8. How many candles do we light? 44. 4 plus 4, 8. Even, there's another name for Chanukah called Chag HaOrot, the holiday of lights. Gematria Ktana, 8. So we see that 8 is for the power, there's Me'al HaTeva. And this power of Me'al HaTeva, this power that you can do things that are beyond the norm, that just when people start to think, hey, it's impossible, as a Jew, you're supposed to say, number 8. It is possible. Why? I'm a Jew. And I'm all about Hallel and Hoda'ah. I'm all about Shem Hashem Shagur B'fiv. There's no way that what I want can't happen. Tshuat Hashem terrifying. Hashem can get me out of every mess in a split second. I have to just be thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I have to understand that this is the best. And even when it seems so bleak, 12 years in jail, I'm ready to pop. Wait. Come be a viceroy of Egypt. Come be a success in your life. It sounds so simple, but it's a little bit tough. Because it's easy to say, but it's hard to believe. It's a little hard to believe. If you're not working on your emunah, if you're not actually waking up in the morning and saying, I believe that this is for the best. I believe that I don't have money right now. There's no better thing for me. But I'm drowning in bills. It's the best. Why? Hashem thinks so. I'm doing my ishtadlut. I wake up in the morning, I go to shul, I pray, I go to work, I come back. I'm not successful at making money. What am I going to do? That's what Hashem wants. Things will change soon. But I'm not changing my relationship with you, Hashem. You, I love. I know this is the best for me. I don't even know why this is the best for me, but I know it's the best. It's so hard to believe. It's so hard to believe. As a matter of fact, this training that you have to do is just like when you go to the gym. If you ever go to the gym, I can tell you the first few weeks are very tough. But if you go after a month or two of going steady, it feels so good. Because all of a sudden that weight that you were struggling with, a little bit shaky, and all of a sudden you're smooth, and you almost feel like you move up to the next one. You feel good, you're in your body, like, oh man, progress. The same thing is with spirituality. You'd be surprised when you work on yourself, when things are difficult and you come and you say, it's for the best. This is what Hashem wants. Relax. who knows? Whatever I want, who knows even what I want is the best for me. Maybe right now what's happening for me is actually cleaning up some of my past sins. It's actually a chesed that he's doing with me. When you train yourself, after a month, after 3 months, after 6 months, when big problems come and face you, you won't believe what emunah does for you in your life. How you're able to handle yourself, your family, your business, any situation. Emunah is a muscle. You have to train it. Just like you go to the gym to train your muscles, you have to train in your mind emunah all the time. You have to just keep in mind is that you have to do your hishtadlut. What's hishtadlut? You can't sit on the couch and wait for things to happen. Hashem, I love you. Hashem, you're the greatest. Where's my paycheck? It doesn't work like that. You still have to get up. You still have to go to work. Send those emails. Meet those people. Do your utmost that you can physically do. And then you tap Hashem in. Hashem, tag. You're it. I did the most. The beautiful chidush on the dreidel. They say, how much ishtadlut do you have to have? They said the same ishtadlut you put on the dreidel. It says, if you spin the dreidel right now, right? You spin it. Now, if you would take your hand and as hard as you can, does that guarantee you're going to get a gimel? If you yell at it and scream at it, gimel. No. If you're going to be, what's the ishtadlut? He says, look at the dreidel. Whether you scream, yell at it, do harder, softer, or just do it normal, it never guarantees you a gimel. No matter what you do. What guarantees you a gimel? What guarantees if you're going to win? The thing that you tried. Just try to spin it. Whatever happens is in Hashem's hands. Don't try too hard. Hashem wants you to do hishtadlut. My friend told me this. I love this. He says, we were sitting in Kollel and we're sitting and studying, and I told him, I wish we could stay here all day and learn all day long. So he says, he says there's a story in the Gemara that, so we said, but we have to go out and do parnasah, we have to go support our family. So he says there's a story in the Gemara that a guy was sitting in a kollel, and then he'd go outside, he'd open up the door, he'd kick some dirt. And he says, that's my ishtadlut, I'm going back to learn. He said, that's it. I went outside, I tried. Hashem, now you take the rest. Where's that emunah to do it like that? But it's amazing that that people can get to that. Again, you have the power of number 8 in you. You have the power of Ma'al HaTeva. Just when it's the darkest, that's when the light is coming. It's we call it the light at the end of the tunnel. And with this I'll conclude. Hanukkah, the holiday that we're in right now, is the end of Kislev. In the end of Kislev, we light Hanukkah. That's the end of the end of the tunnel. Why? Because we have right after the holiday season some very dark months. The spiritual energy is not that great. Mar Cheshvan is in there, and all of a sudden, there's no holidays, and you could say regular life has taken on. You don't know how things are going to be, business, work, life, this, that. All of a sudden, just when it's dark, there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, the end of Cheshvan. The end of Kislev, Chanukah, and this is when our luck begins to change. Chanukah is the month where things start to look up to us. We have a lot of good months on the way. We have Adar. Our luck is very, very strong in Adar. Nisan, a month of miracles. And we have to take advantage of it. You have to know that we have that available. But you also have to know that deep inside of you, there's a big, big power to activate number 8 and activate miracles instantly. You don't have to wait for those months. How? If you follow the formula of Yosef and the formula of number 8. Now, some of you might not know this, but the high holiday season of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur actually is about to end in Chanukah. There's a pasuk in Tehillim that says, Tashuv enosh ad daka. What's Tashuv enosh ad daka? It says Tashuv enosh. Enosh is another word for person. In the Torah, we have the word Adam, Ish, or Enosh. Enosh is the lowest level that a person could be. So Tashuv Enosh, that low person, come back. Ad Daka. What's Daka? Daka is Dalet, Chaf, and Aleph, 25th. The high holiday season of the Teshuvah that we did Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Hoshana Rabbah, the Bitkaot went out. Little secret, We still have up until the 25th of Kislev to change all that. That guy that wasn't in Shul and Kippur, that guy that didn't do Teshuvah in Aseitim et Shuvah, that Enosh, he can now walk into Chanukah, the 25th of Chanukah, and for 8 days do Teshuvah. Say, not only do Teshuvah, but say, whatever you already stamped for me for the year, change it for me upside down. Or even somebody who did Teshuvah and wants to say, please Hashem, whatever the stamp is, I'm praying again for it to change for the better. We have right now, up until Zot Chanukah, until the 8th of Chanukah, the chance and ability to switch things around. After the 8th of Chanukah, let's say the year is officially started, you can't reverse nothing. Tashuv enosh hadaka. Right now, we have the ability to, right now, when you pray like Kippur. Pray like Rosh Hashanah. Hashem, forgive me for what I did in the past few months. Forgive me if I didn't do proper teshuvah. And also ask. And I know that this is my last chance to ask you for what I want for the upcoming year. And ask. And you know what? Me'al teva. Maybe I don't deserve it. Hashem, give me to me as undeserving. Why? Because I know it's in my power. And I know you give matnat chinam. But you have to be very careful. Even though that this is the time of miracles, do not ask for miracles. Because if you ask for a miracle, Hashem takes away from your zchuyot. He takes away from your merits. Don't ask for a miracle. What you want to ask for is another hack. You ask for nes derech teva. How? It's a miracle. Yeah, but I didn't ask for a miracle. I asked for a miracle kederech hateva, that it should seem through the normal channels. Because why? Your zchuyot stay intact. You need your zchuyot. You need those merits. So when you're praying right now, even though that we can do me'al hateva, we can do nisim, but I want a nes derech hateva. Be'ezat Hashem, that we merit to still extract another lesson from Yosef of what's the right attitude, what's the right way to think, what's the right way to talk, and also to take the approach that just like the end of Kislev, it's such a dark month, but at the end there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So is our life. In our life, sometimes we're in the darkest moments, but you're one dig away from hitting gold. Don't walk away from your life. Don't walk away from your challenges. Don't give up. What you have to do is say, Hashem, it's difficult, it's hard, but I have 100% emunah, it's for the